today's topic is so much interesting because we will talk about history. By the way, we are the group 3 and we will present to you the excerpt from Magellan Voyage Around the World. Are you ready? Here we go. As Ferdinand Magellan was in the island of Butuan and Calagan, two kings named Raya Colambu and Raya Sawi wanted to see each other. The kings met Magellan and led them to their ships. He described Raya Sawi as fine-looking, black-haired, tawny, painted and storax perfume, man wearing a braided cotton cloth with silk and two large golden earrings. Magellan also described the fine man as man with gold in every part of his fashion and parts of the body. He also said that a portion of king's house was made of gold and has a lot of gold.
Thank you, Mr. General Arellano, for your explanation. Here are some additional explanation. As the captain poured mass water over the two kings' entire bodies before the mass began, an offering of mass was made. The kings walked up to the cross and kissed it as we did. But they did not make an offering. Some of the men received communion after the service was over. They had the cross, nails, and the crown, carried it, to which they made immediate reverence. Then he told the kings that those were the standards that he had been given to put up those tokens. He wanted to build it up there for their advantage, since they would know we were there by that cross if any of our ships arrived. Every morning, they had to put this cross on the top of the highest mountain, so that they would worship it when they saw it. And if they do, neither lightning nor storm will at least harm them. They warmly thanked him and said he would be happy to do anything. They truly believed that no matter what happens, no harm shall be passed into them. I think that shows how much faith they have in him. They all believe that they want to pass that belief into others. Thank you.
Thank you, Mary Joy. Now it's my turn to continue. Thereat, the captain was very glad, and seeing that, the first king said that he wished that it were possible for him to make the captain see his love for him. The interpreter asked the king why there was so little to it there. The latter replied that he did not live in that place, except when he went hunting and to see his brother, but that he lived in another island where all his family there. The captain general asked him to declare whether he had enemies, so that he might go with his ship to destroy them and to render them obedient to him. However, the king thanked him and said that he did indeed have two islands hostile to him, but that it was not then the reason to go there. The captain told him that if God would again allow him to return to those districts, he would bring so many men that he would make the king's enemies subject to him by force. He said that he was about to go to dinner, and he would return afterward to have the cross set up on the summit of the mountain. They replied that they were satisfied, and then forming in battalion and firing the musket. And then the captain, having embraced the two kings.
Thank you. After dinner, we all returned, clad in our doublets, and that afternoon went together with the two kings to the summit of the highest mountain there. When we reached the summit, the captain general told them he esteemed highly having fitted for them, for since the cross was there, it would not but be of the great use to them. On asking which port was best to get food, they replied that there were three named Ceylon or Leyte, Cebu or Cebu, kalaghan o kalagan, but that spoon was the largest and the one with most weight. They offered of their own accord to give us a pilot to show us the way. The Captain General thanked them and determined to go there, or so did his unhappy faithful. After the cross was erected and positioned, each of us repeated a Pater Noster and Ave Maria and adored the cross, and the kings did the same. Then we descended through the cultivated field and went to the place where the balanghay was. The king had some coconuts brought in so we might refresh ourselves. The captain asked the king for Philo, for they intended to depart the following morning, and that he would treat them as if they were the king themselves, and would leave one of us as hostage.
Thank you, Mr. Davin. And now it's my time to give you information. Those peoples were heathens and go naked and painted. They wear a piece of cloth woven from a tree about their breeches. Those women are clad in trees cloth from their waist down, and their hair is black and reaches to the ground. They have hoes spears in their ears, which are filled with gold. Those peoples are constantly chewing a fruit which they call areca and resembles a pear. All the people in those parts of the world use it, for it is very cooling to the heart, and if they cease to use it, they would die. There are dogs, cats, swine, fowls, lemon, goat, rice, ginger, coconut, figs, orange, millet, pansium, sorghum, wax, and a quantity of gold in that island. Thank you. Let's hear another information from Miss Jaisal.
And now, let's proceed.
Those people were heathens and go naked and painted. They wear a piece of cloth woven from a tree about their breeches. They are heavy drinkers. Their women are clad in tree cloth from their waist down, and their hair is black and reaches to the ground. They have whole spears in their ears, which are filled with gold. These people are constantly chewing a fruit, which they call areca and resembles a pear. They cut that fruit into 4 parts and then wrap it in the leaves of their tree, which they call battery. Those leaves resemble the leaves of the mulberry. They mix it with a little lime, and when they have chewed it truly, they spit it out. It makes the mouth exceedingly red. All the people on those parts of the world use it, for it is very cooling to the heart, and if they cease to use it, they would die. There are dogs, cats, swine, fowls, goats, rice, ginger, coconuts, pigs, bananas, oranges, lemons, millet, pantium, sorghum, wax, and a quantity of gold in that island. It lies in a latitude of 9 and 2/3 degrees toward the Arctic Pole, and a longitude of 162 degrees from the line of demarcation. It is 25 leagues from the Aquaja, and is called Mazama.
Enter were spoken that his Magellan's waited them. Then the emperor explained to the people that it's the way to approach a city, the king and his governor, as what is in name. They found a less crowd of people. Together with the king, there was evidence to their faces. 4 wives. 7. Sunday afternoon, Magellan and others entered to the port of Cebu. Passing by many villages, they saw many homes built to approach the city. The Captain General ordered the ships to fling their banners. The sails were lowered and arranged as if for battle. That caused a fear for the people when they reached the city.
Thank you, Mr. Ross. Now, it's my time to continue. As proof of his statement, the king directed the interpreter to be a merchant from China, who remained to exchange gold and slaves. The interpreter told the king that since his lord was the captain of the great king, he did not pay homage and respect to any senior in the world. And if the king wanted peace, he would give it, but if war, war immediately. After that, the Moro merchant said to the king, "Look, sir, these men both occupied Calicut, Malacca, and all India Maghreb. If they are treated badly, they will be treated worse, as they did with Calicut and Malacca." The interpreter understood all this and told the king that his master was more powerful over people and ships than the other king of Portuguese, that he was the king of Spania and emperor of all Christians, and if so of the king, he did not care to be his friend. Next time, he would send so many men to destroy him. The Muslim told everything to the king who had said before that he would talk to his men, and the captain would answer to the next day. There were refreshments in many dishes, all made of meat and in porcelain dishes, in addition to the many jars of wine that were brought in. After our staff had rested, they came back and told us afterwards that king and the senior of many islands went ashore to tell the king with kindness our Captain General. Okay, thank you, Miss Bakay. And now, hear the continuation. Our notary, accompanied by the interpreter, traveled to Cebu on Monday morning. The king arrived in the open square, accompanied by his chef, and ordered our men to take a seat near him. He inquired of the notary whether there was more than one captain in that company, and if the captain desired him to pay tribute to the emperor, his master. The notary said no, but the captain only wanted to trade with him and no one else.
Thank you, Miss Mary Jean Salazar, for a wonderful explanation. Here are some additional further explanations. The king expressed his satisfaction and stated that if the captain wished to become his friend, he should send him a drop of blood from his right arm, and he himself would do the same as a sign of the most sincere friendship. The notary responded that the captain would take care of it. The king then told him that all the captains who came to the place were accustomed to giving presents one to the other, like mutual presents between the king and the captain, and asked whether our captain or he should begin. The interpreter advised the king that if he wanted to keep the costume, he should begin, which he did. That's all, and thank you for the listening of excerpts from Magellan's Voyage Around the World. Please stay tuned of Group 3 Radio Broadcasting. Thank you.